us for peaceful campaigns in this forthcoming November 27th, 25 by-elections. Kenyans are clearly hungry for change, and they see these by-elections as a chance to register their feelings about the current regime. That dissatisfaction is real, and the regime knows it. That is why they are trying every trick to frustrate the people's will ahead of tomorrow's vote. But Kenyans are alert and they are ready. From the mountain to the lake, from the ocean to Kisii, the message is the same, #Guantam. During these campaigns, we have sadly witnessed a series of disparate and well-coordinated attempts to subvert the will of the people. Number one, the heavy and intimidating deployment of police officers, many of them in plain clothes, accompanied by brutal attacks on opposition leaders and supporters. The intention is clear: to scare voters away from coming out in numbers they intend to tomorrow. We have seen this in Narok Town, in Malava, and in Mbeere North. Unmarked famous Subaru foresters have been roaming Chicago and Malava not to protect citizens, but to intimidate them. This is unacceptable in a democratic nation. Number two, the shameless bribery and manipulation of voters by senior state officers, including MPs, MCAs, chiefs, PSAs, CSAs, speakers of both houses of parliament, as well as county assemblies, the prime cabinet secretary, the deputy president, and the president himself, all misusing state machinery, including government vehicles, relief food and non-food items like mattresses and blankets meant for disaster victims, and even letters of appointment to Kenyan embassies issued in public barazas. I think we have all seen this. This is a misuse of public trust and public resources. Call it plainly abuse of office by this current regime. Number three, we have credible information that the serialization of 820 printed ballots, that's very important, 820,000 printed ballots was not done correctly and not properly inspected. This has created a dangerous loophole for ballot stuffing through extra or unaccounted for ballots. We are further aware that 30,000 pre-marked ballots have already been dispatched to the targeted battleground areas of Magarini, Malava, and Mbeere North through compromised presiding officers. This strikes at the heart of electoral integrity. Fourth, we have seen extended and illegal campaigns conducted by regime agents well beyond the official campaign period, escorted by police officers and accompanied by hired goons. This is a deliberate attempt to tilt the playing field and subvert the will of the people. Number five, violence is being prepared and deployed as a tool to cripple these by-elections. There is a well-coordinated scheme involving sections of the police, hired goons, and compromised IEBC officials. In Malava, for example, hired goons reportedly under the command of Lugari MP Nabi Nabwera are expected to spark violence using pangas and rungus and other crude weapons. They are to be protected by police, including a special team which has already been dispatched from Nairobi, and we are monitoring their movements, the infamous Subaru unit. Once voting is disrupted, compromised IEBC ballots, compromised IEBC officers and clerks are expected to use that chaos to stuff ballots. We saw this pattern during the Gen Z protests, where police did not stop goons, but actually enabled them. We have again seen police in Narok and Kabuchai captured on camera moving goons and distributing funds. This is a betrayal of the oath to protect. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, as we stated on November 20th, there is a deliberate plan to misuse mobile phones in polling stations in ways that violate the secrecy of the ballot. The response from IEBC has been weak and insufficient, with the junior officer Magarini giving a half-hearted explanation to an issue that demands the full attention of the chairperson and indeed the entire commission. Their silence deepens our concern about the integrity of this institution at this critical moment. The IEBC, by failing to address the genuine concerns raised by the opposition and the media, and by neglecting to put in place the necessary remedial measures, continues to cast a long shadow over its own independence. This new commission now stands accused, not by us alone, but by its actions of presiding over a process whose credibility grows more questionable by the day. A democratic, free and fair election cannot be built on silence, on evasion or selective action. It must be anchored on justice. We therefore demand that the IEBC rises to the moment and A, confronts and overcomes the challenges facing this by-election. This is the first true test of the new commission. They must either overcome these challenges or be overcome by them, squandering the little trust Kenyans still hold. The commission must assure all Kenyans that it is not entangled with broad-based masters. B, to our supporters across the country, come out in large numbers and vote for all united opposition candidates. Remain peaceful, but also remain vigilant. Document every irregularity and promptly report every form of electoral malpractice witnessed in your constituencies or in your wards. To our agents, you have been prepared for this day. Confirm that all ballot boxes are empty before voting begins. And check even any possibility of open windows where things could have been brought in and sneaked in. Do not abandon your stations until polling is fully concluded. Report every incident, from attempted inducements to photo taking inside booths to any form of voter harassment by police in uniform or in plain clothes. To the media, election observers and civil society organizations, please maintain maximum vigilance at all polling stations. Shine the light where others attempt to hide the truth. Expose every malpractice. This is what is expected of us as citizens of this country, that we have to dig in for democracy. E, the desperation of this regime is obvious to all. They are hanging by a thread. The writing is on the wall. The die is indeed cast. No amount of public money, no deployment of police, bullets or tear gas, and no intimidation of opposition leaders and supporters will succeed in silencing the will of the people. And to the broad-based operators clinging to their last straws, let it be known the people have already spoken. At this defining moment, we urge Kenyans to stand firm, stand peaceful, and stand together. Let us prove once again that no force, however desperate, can overcome a united and a determined people. The will of Kenyans is sacred. It cannot be bought, it cannot be bullied, or indeed it can never be broken. Tomorrow, let us vote with courage, guide the vote with vigilance, and move forward with faith, knowing that the truth may be delayed, but it cannot surely be denied. May God bless Kenya and all of us. Plugged out those places, but nothing. You remember I talked about 820,000 printed ballots, all right? And each of them is supposed to have a serial number. I wanted to look at that statement. Si ndio nakwambia, ndio najaribu kukujibu kwamba angalia hiyo statement tena, that there is no serialization of those ballots. Wanaanza, we have got this from real time, by the way, on people who are everywhere, some in Kasipul, right? that inarukwa serial number, therefore giving, I think those are the numbers zile zimerukwa ndizo wanataka kutumia waweke ballot stuffing, alafu waonyeshe ndizo hizo. Kama wanavyosema ndugu Rigiji kwamba ikifika saa 11 usiku, saa 1 jioni wanazima mataa na kuintroduce those ballots. That's why we are saying the agents for united opposition wawe macho from 5 o'clock in the morning to make sure the ballot papers are completely empty, to make sure hakuna mtu anaingia pale mwenye silaha, to make sure hakuna mtu agent waangalie kama kuna watu wanaenda kupiga picha kwa secret, to avoid the secrecy of the ballot. Waangalie hiyo yote, wawe macho na wasilale kwa kituo mpaka mambo yajulikane. So that's including what I said. That's absolutely vital, because if the presiding officers under instructions of Marjan are able to press the send button to the constituency tallying center, kwa mfano, or to the ward tallying center, what that will mean is that number may be different from ile imehesabiwa 1 2 3 4. Karisa amepata hii. What is your name, sir? Koenga naye amepata hizi. Sasa inaenda kitu tofauti. So the whole thing is the agents, and we have told our agents to be thorough. Lazima tukomeshe wizi wa kura Kenya hii.
I think for Kabuchai, and we are talking about Kisa East, the main target is actually Malava and Western.
Yeah.
What we do know, the way Rigiji has said, 15,000 pre-marked are headed to Mbeere North. For Malava, we have 10,000. We are aware they have sent 10,000 pre-marked ballots to Malava. And there are specific areas where tonight they're being dispatched. And once they start the violence, the police come in, there's disruption. There are presiding officers who have already been put in the loop, been compromised with that mission of making sure 10,000 ballots that are not for Malava people, that are pre-marked elsewhere, transported into Malava, are stuffed into those ballot boxes. So these we are aware, and 10,000 have also gone to Magarini. Obviously, you can see Mbeere North is the highest target, 15,000. But we are aware, and we tuko macho. Our agents wakae macho. Na wale ambao watahusika kuleta fujo, for Malava we are aware, na Binabwera, ndugu yangu Musalia, ndugu yangu Weta, ndugu yangu Oparanya, we have already lost a life in Kabuchai. There was a death because there was shooting, police bullets, live bullets were used in Kabuchai. There's already bloodshed in Kabuchai, kwa Itangula. We wouldn't want that to happen again tomorrow or this night. The blood will be on the hands of those who are in charge of that violence, and we know them. Asante sana.
We have monitored even the movement
Yes.
from Thika. Hizi za Mbeere zilianza somewhere in Thika, alafu zikapelekwa kwa DCC office in Mbeere. Tunajua, we are monitoring, and it's Kenyans themselves telling us what is actually happening. Thank you. Asanteni sana.
Thank you.
Mubarikiwe. Condemnation in the strongest terms possible of this state-sponsored violence in Kabuchai, in Narok. We saw some feeble attempt by IBC in Kasipul to do something, and they have been silent on these other things. A real time attempt, and by the way, these were scheduled political rally campaigns within the framework, and you can imagine what would have happened to Governor Natembeya out there. And by the way, he was supposed to have been around as well, but I think his party leader has spoken. Why would Murkomen want to issue a statement kusema they have withdrawn the security of leaders at this time? Ati wanachunguza. Sasa wanachunguza what is pretty obvious, that the opposition rally in Kabuchai, and of course under the arrangements of Mheshimiwa Kalasinga, whose home was raided. We have not heard of arrests of those people who went actually kwa Mheshimiwa na kuharibu kila kitu. Hatujasikia kwamba wameshikwa. What are they trying to do by saying they're investigating? We have not heard one thing by APOA, by the way, Independent Police Oversight Authority. Even when people were stoned in Murang'a that time, peaceful things, people went all the way to police headquarters, to IPOA, make a presentation. We never heard them come back. Please, Kenyans who are in those positions, know that tomorrow you may want to get things done the way we want them done. Because you will be on the receiving end, God forbid. So we have to sort out this country while time is on our side. Kama kuna swali, because that thing about kusema tuna withdraw security leaders to investigate, and we know the perpetrators, it's actually a shameful thing by the minister in charge of the interior. I think tumemaliza mambo haya. Yes, sir. Lakini pia